What's going on? It's your man Scrivs. Today we're going to talk about systems, funnels, all that good stuff. And the idea here is, how do we create some type of system for our business that allows us to make $25,000 a month or more working 20 hours or less with no team? It sounds impossible, right? It sounds ridiculous. But when you sit down and you actually think about what's available to you online and what things you can have set up and put in place, you'll see that it makes a lot of sense. And so what we're going to start off here first is with content. Not how to create content, not what type of content you should create specifically. I have another video that shows you my content system, so if you want to check that out, I'll put it below. But what we have to think about is how people buy and how people discover. So one of the big problems that a lot of experts and gurus have taught us over the years is that there are sales cycles where someone needs to spend X amount of time on our mailing list, following us, whatever, before they buy from us. So for example, someone might say, you know what, when someone signs up for your mailing list, it's going to take them at least 3 months on your mailing list before they buy from you. And so what happens is you sit there and you go, okay, someone is now on my mailing list. Now I'm going to spend the next 90 days emailing them and hopefully they buy. And the reason why people think this is because of this problem that we just keep on giving them little bits and pieces of how we can help. But that's not buying behavior. That's not true buying behavior. Think about it. When you're hungry and you know you want something, you go and buy the food. If you see a problem with bugs in your house, you don't go, well, let me do 3 months of research to figure things out. No, you go and buy the pesticide to get rid of the bugs. We buy stuff almost immediately all the time when we have a problem. So what makes that any different from the services and the products that we're selling? There is no difference. There are people right now that are watching this video from me going, I have this problem. I need it solved today. They're not going to go, well, I have this problem, I need it solved, but I see that you're giving me a chance to sign up for your mailing list, so hopefully over the next 3 months, you help me solve this problem. That sounds ridiculous when I say it like that, right? But that's how we're looking at things. So ideally, what we really want to happen is we want people to spend time in our world. I call this world time. So the more world time people spend, the more likely they are to buy something from us. And so world time could be the time they're watching these videos, other social media content, reading blog posts, essays, emails, podcasts, any of that stuff where they're consuming our content. That is world time spent. If you're thinking about this logically, you can see there's a problem here because a lot of people focus on short form content. And so if I'm creating, let's say Instagram Reels, if I'm creating Reels, in each reel, I'm being generous. Each reel is 60 seconds, or 1 minute. Then that feels like I'm making progress, right? I'm doing these amazing 1 minute reels. People are liking them. People are following me. I'm getting the engagement that I want, but I still find that it's very difficult to sell. And so what happens for a lot of people is because they find it difficult to sell, they work on their funnel. And so they might add, more urgency or scarcity to things. They sit there going, there's a reason people aren't buying from me. I need to figure out why people aren't buying from me. This person says I need to add more urgency. Okay, so now I have this fake countdown or scarcity. Now I'm saying there's only five limited spots, even though I could fit 25 people. So we add these things in and it doesn't make us feel good. And it probably doesn't make our audience feel good. But because we have them, we do see results because we're pressuring people. But when you pressure people after they buy something, what happens? They're kind of like, I didn't really want this thing. How many times have you bought something that you didn't particularly want, but you just kind of felt obligated to buy it for whatever reason, and it doesn't feel as good, right? And so because of this, people then continue, okay, well, now I need to send more emails, right? And so, I need to send more emails. but I hate sending emails and I feel like I'm bugging people. So now you start feeling bad about what you're doing in your own business, and you feel bad about your business, but you need your business to make money. And it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy where things just fall apart and you just don't do well. And that sucks, right? That sucks. But how's this tie into world time? So let's say world time. I'm just going to come up with a number because every business, brand, niche, industry is going to have a different number. Let's say, on average, people who buy from me spend 60 minutes consuming my content. If they spend 60 minutes consuming my content, there's a solid chance that they'll end up buying something from me. Okay? 60 minutes. Now, if I'm averaging, and again, I'm being generous with my reels here. If I'm averaging 1 minute reels, that means I need 60. I need the person to go through 60 of these reels before I honestly believe they can buy from me. And it's not, this 60 number is doing a lot of heavy lifting, because the reality of it is nobody's going to sit there and watch 60 reels at one time. They might consume 60 reels over a month. And the problem is, because they're consuming that content that's spread out, they're forgetting other things. Because they're forgetting other things, there's not that strong of a connection. And this, again, this is why we go back to creating these funnels and building hype and all these other launch methods that some people love to do. I just don't like to do them. It's just not how I'm wired and everything. And so I continue to sit down and go, okay, like, how can we improve this? How can we do this better? Because this can't be the only way. And so if we're saying somebody needs 60 minutes to go through our content, well, then what happens if I do 2 YouTube videos? 2 YouTube vids that are 30 minutes each. How many times have you consumed multiple YouTube videos in one sitting? If you're like me, it's a lot, right? And so if I can get someone to watch 2 of my YouTube videos, it doesn't even have to, if I can get someone to watch 1 of my YouTube videos today and 1 of my YouTube videos tomorrow, then guess what? Then I've hit my 60 minutes, and now they have a better chance of buying with me. So does this mean you should stop doing short form? No. We're going to set up a system here. That's the idea. We got to set up the system. I need to understand the philosophy first before we set up the system. So my idea is I need to increase my world time. And there are lots of different ways to do that, but I need to increase my world time because I want to be top of the mind for the person. I want to show them that I'm the one who can help them solve their problem. That's another issue where if I'm trying to get people to watch 60 of my reels, I'm not on the top of their mind, because what they're doing is that they're scrolling to the next Instagram, right? You never know, like, what's that one reel that's finally going to hit and get people to go, okay, now I'll click on your profile. Now I'll do that thing. And so we need a system that makes building this world time a lot easier. So let's create a system. I think hands down, the best platform to pull this off is YouTube. And there are a number of reasons for that. So with YouTube, you get a number of things that work in your favor. One is what we call shelf life. How often have you watched YouTube videos from years ago? But when's the last time you watched an Instagram anything, or a Twitter anything, or a LinkedIn anything that was 2 weeks ago, right? It just doesn't happen. So YouTube has the shelf life. YouTube also has discoverability. Maybe you find this video on your homepage. Maybe you find this video by searching. Maybe you find this video in your sidebar, right? I have all these great ways for my videos to be discovered, which gives me a chance to build that audience. Next one is consumption patterns. Have you ever been on TikTok? You know, it could be very hard to get someone to buy an information product for you or some type of coaching from you from TikTok, because TikTok consumption just works differently. TikTok, you're scrolling through because you're looking for that next entertaining thing. Like, you're just going. But if you're a professional like you are, then when you get on YouTube, your brain switches. Like, I'm on YouTube to learn. I'm on YouTube to consume content that's going to help me progress on my journey. So with that kind of learning framework, that kind of consumption pattern, it makes it easier to create the type of videos that your people are going to want to watch, want to consume, and then want to push further with you and everything. No other platform has this. Okay, no other platform has this. So this is why YouTube works out well. So how do we use this to our advantage? Well, we could just create a number of YouTube videos, right? Just keep on churning them out and then saying, well, I want you to watch a YouTube video, and then I want you to go to my site, right? And this is what a lot of people do. And it makes sense, right? Push people to the site where they push them to opt in and try to get them on a mailing list. There's technically nothing wrong with that. But remember, we talked about a big problem is what happens when people are watching your video and they go, I like this. This is helping me. Okay, what's the next step? You're telling them, well, first you got to go to my site, and then you got to sign up for this freebie. And hopefully the freebie does something for you. And then I'm going to try to push you through this email sequence that is going to try to sell you on something. So good luck. Again, that's not bad if you don't have anything to sell right now. But what happens if you have something that you know is going to help this person watching this video right now do something? Then it kind of becomes like, we could probably do a little better. So let's look at it like this. I'm running out of space here. Let's move it over here. So let's say I create a YouTube video. But this is a major YouTube video. Like it's my magnum opus. Is that, I don't even know if that term works for this, but that's what we're going with here. My magnum opus, okay? So I have a YouTube video like this, and I'll link it around here or down there, but you'll see that. So I have that central YouTube video. That YouTube video talks about my whole philosophy, my whole strategy for building a business that makes $25,000 a month or more, working 20 hours or less with no team. Like, I have that big video and everything. So I call this my BVA, big value asset. So that's my big value asset. And now what I want to do is create other YouTube videos. So I have my other YouTube videos. We'll do 3 of them. That push people here. Now, why is that? The reason why is because if I can show people that I'm helping them progress in their journey, then it makes sense. So this video, you're watching the system that I can apply. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what about content and offers and how does this all come together? Well, let's say this video right here is the video you're watching right now. Now, I already told you, I have my magnum opus YouTube video that I've already mentioned. And even at the end of this video, I'm going to mention it again, saying, if you want to push along further and see how I put all this together to form the kind of businesses that I do and the ones I help other people build and everything, then check out that video. And so it will lead to here. So if you watch this video, I don't know how long this video is going to be, 20, 30 minutes, then that you have a little bit of world time there. You go up there and watch this YouTube video, which I think is maybe like 50 minutes, but it's amazing. It's a good 50 minutes. Like it's great. It's going to blow your mind. Then that's over the 60 minutes. Now, I'm not saying, I'm guaranteeing you're the one who's going to buy what happens next, but you can kind of see how this works. And so my next video does the same thing, leads. Okay. And this is also helpful for YouTube because YouTube's not going, well, they're trying to get people off our platform. No, what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, YouTube, I'm actually recommending this other video that people go to. So I'm keeping people on the platform. And because I'm keeping people on the platform and they're watching now over an hour's worth of content of mine, maybe you should recommend me a little bit more. All right. So then we get this nice little flywheel system going. Now within here, this video, it'd be great if it ranked. It'd be great if it showed up in the sidebar. It'd be great, but I'm not concerned if it does that. These videos, I do want in the sidebar and in the search and all that kind of stuff. But this one, I'm not too concerned with. Because this one is going to send people to my site. Okay. And that's kind of the problem. People use their YouTube videos to send people to sites, and if YouTube is like, well, you're trying to push people away from us, so should we recommend you? Maybe not as much. But if I know this one is the one that does it, if I know this one is the one that's doing it, and I'm not worried about it with discoverability and everything because I'm actively pushing people to it, then I'm okay with this one, again, not being ranked, not really showing up much, and going to the site. Another huge benefit of this is where it's already starting to qualify people. People start to self-qualify themselves. So if you're going to watch this whole video, you're in the 1% of people that are going to watch this video if you get through the whole thing. And so that qualifies you, right? That starts to say, okay, I dig this guy's vibe in a certain way, right? Because it's important that we had that vibe. And now I'm going to watch another video. And if I like how he goes about things, the system that he does, his approach, and I feel aligned with it, then that's another self-qualifier. Then I'm going to go to the site. And then whatever you see on the site becomes another self-qualifier. So I'm not sitting on sales calls. I've never done a sales call in my life. I don't even know how I would do on a sales call. I'd probably break out a sweat and panic and lock up. The reason why people have to do sales calls is because they might do something where they'll have these videos and they say, this video is going to do really well. Book a call. And because they overpromised and did all this other stuff, they have to book a call. And then you all know what a sales call is. It's not a discovery call. It's a sales call where you sit there and you're feeling forced to buy and you're not sure to buy. And then that's why people start hiring sales teams, because the creators themselves don't want to be on the sales calls. So then you have sales teams that you're managing, and then you can scale up because you just have this sales team that's pressuring people to buy, and the numbers look good, and then you get to talk about your numbers to other people, and the people go, oh, you're doing really good numbers. I'm going to learn from you. And your secret really is just getting a couple people on the phone with a sales team who does high pressure tactics that make people feel bad and they give you money. But now that you're getting money, you get to tell other people you're making money, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where you just keep on telling people how much more money you're making without telling people that you're making your audience feel bad from buying from you. Well, I'm ignoring all that. I'm not doing any of that, okay? But what about short form? Because short form is really great for attention, okay? Long form is great for converting. Short form is great for attention because you do need to be recognized for people. And so let's say I also want to get Instagram involved. I'll just put this up here because there's no Instagram box necessarily. And so Instagram has something unique where you can use ManyChat. In ManyChat, if you've been on Instagram, you know what it is. Where ManyChat, the person will say, comment elephant, and I'll send you this thing. So you make the comment elephant, and then ManyChat automatically sends them a DM with whatever information. It's amazing. Okay, that's an amazing piece of technology. But how can we use that within this system here? So I'll do an Instagram Reel. We'll just call these R's. I'll do Instagram Reel. And there's two ways I can approach this, right? So one of these reels, I might say, check out this amazing, this reel breaks down this video a little bit, or I just did a YouTube video that goes over this, or I might break down one little aspect and say, this is how you solve this one problem. If you want to solve the bigger problem, then I have a YouTube video for you. So this is great. So send me comment, blah, 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 and I'll send you the link. So I can send people directly here. You might be thinking, no, you got to send people to your site. Again, if I can get the short form people to watch a long form piece of content, that qualifies them. That's that self-qualifying again. I don't want everybody, because everybody's not going to be happy working with me. I want the right people. So the people who are sitting there going, no, I need to solve this and everything, this self-qualifies them. But I can also send them straight to here. Okay, so we have the option of going, okay, I'm going to send you here, and you watch this video, and then after you watch this video, then you go here, you watch this video, okay, now you're there. Or I might feel this reel is more appropriate for this, send them there. Again, it's all this self-qualifying. Even in my Instagram profile, guess what? Instagram profile sends them here. So I'm trying to get people to that long form, because that long form is where you truly qualify your people. And you might think, well, people don't watch. No, trust me, the people who need to solve their problem, and you're creating the content to help them do that, they will watch. I've never met someone who goes, well, I have this big problem that I want solved, but I'm not willing to consume a small piece of content to figure it out. Right? If that's your audience, then figure something else out, or just sell only low ticket offers. And those low ticket offers, you can just not worry about the long form videos, right? You could just do a million different reels and just say, I have this $19 thing, check it out, right? And then you get all the people in the world to impulse buy. This system is not the system I'm saying you have to do. Because when we were talking about the whole philosophy of world time and all this other amazing stuff, That's all we're worried about here. I've done it before where I would do stuff on Twitter or Threads because I just love text. And so I would do text-based, and even text-based, I could still send them to YouTube. But what I'll do sometimes is, let's say Threads. So my Threads profile will send them to my site, but it wouldn't be a sales page. What it would be a text-based BVA. That would be a multi-page BVA. So we have 1, 2, 3, however many pages. And so what we're going through here is, because they're still on their phone, they're reading. If they click on page 2, that's a confirming action. And so they're going, oh, well, I've already clicked on page 2 and I'm reading this. Let me go to page 3. And this is the same thing as world time. This is still extending their world time, and I'm walking through and I'm helping them solve something. And it's amazing. Like, I love doing it like this, but we live in a very visual world. So this is how we do it. I still have these kind of BVAs around and everything. And again, they work beautifully when you can get people to them. So I have that option. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what about an email sequence? Is an email sequence a BVA? The problem with email sequences, again, is they're always going to be spread out. And it's not helping people right now, right then. But then how do I haven't talked about getting people on an email list at all. So do I get people on an email list? Yeah, there's different times. All these YouTube videos might have a tool that will get people to the list. Right? Oh, I have a tool to make this easier. If you want to check that out, do that. But if you really want to push forward and see how to build this $25,000 a month business, then check out this video. Right? So then, some people will click on both. Some people will click on one or the other. But I still have ways where I can build people up and get them onto my mailing list. Or if I'm working on some other social media platform, I might just say, in my newsletter this week, and people go, oh, you have a newsletter? I'm like, yeah, here's the link. But I'm not actively trying to go, okay, the only way you can buy from me is after you sign up for my mailing list. Like, that's silly. Again, because people have stuff that they want right now. So why wouldn't I show them that I can help them right now, right? That's what makes sense for me. So again, if you're going to have that BVA, so my BVA is usually my system, whatever system I'm doing to solve. And we call this, unique mechanism that walks people through the philosophy of it. Then it opens their minds like, oh, okay, no, this is for me. Like, this makes sense for me. And so after you have this set up, right? So after I have this BVA and this aspect of my site set up, then it just comes down to just creating the pieces of content that I can push people to the BVA. And this is why I talk about you only working 20 hours or less. You shouldn't have to keep on grinding. As long as you're creating the right type of content. Again, if you want to check out how to create the content that converts and moves people, then look below. I have a link to that and show you how I create that kind of content. But when you tie that in together, then it just becomes, okay, well, let me just make sure people are getting to my videos. Let me make sure people are getting to my, reels. I might do one YouTube video a week and then look at that YouTube video and I can churn out reels. Reels don't take that long to create. Am I going to send out an email? Yeah, I can send out an email. And in my BVA, my magnum opus, I show you the easiest way to get all this together. Because if this seems like a lot, it seems like a lot because you don't have a system. When you have the right system in place, it becomes easy to churn out this kind of content, right? Like, doing this video is very easy for me because I understand the systems that I have, and it just works out. And I have ADHD, and I'm very scattered brain, and my mind's going in a million different directions, and I'm able to pull this off. So I know you could pull this off. But anyways, so yeah, if you can get a system like that set up, then what happens? Well, you sometimes you show up and you do work, other times you don't show up. But the system is still moving. The system is still doing stuff. The system is still performing, which is amazing, and that's exactly what you want. But people don't have these kind of systems in place, and so they're continuously churning things out. Like, oh gosh, like if I don't post today, am I going to make any money? It shouldn't be like that. It should just be like, do I have my system running? Is my system set up? If my system's running and set up, then everything's good. Okay? So again, if you want to look about creating better content, if you're worried about the offer, because again, if the offer here has to be good. The offer here has to sell itself. You need to know how to create better offers. I have a video about that below. If you want to see how all this comes together with my magnum opus BVA and all that kind of stuff, again, I'll link that below. Check that out. And if you just want to keep on following along and seeing how to build these kind of systems for your business and getting new insights into business growth and creation and development and everything, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all that kind of stuff. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. But yeah, this is your man Scripps. This was fun. Hope to see you again. Peace.